Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Press Box. Brian Carson here with my co-host Kenny Varner. Kenny V, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, Brian. Finally got a day to decompress from all this action we've had the last couple of weeks.
Oh
So
yeah,
it's nice and relaxing.
baseball and softball, high school PIAA playoffs going in full stride, and we're going to review that. We're going to go over that first. I got to talk about a little bit of pro and college sports that caught my eye, and then we'll get right into the high school stuff. Lionel Messi, great soccer player, 800 goals. Some say the best ever, even better than Pele. Just signed a deal with Inter Miami to come over to America for the MLS. And the only reason I'm talking about him before we get to the high school stuff is he signed a deal worth 150 million, which is, you're thinking, my God, compared to other athletes, that sucks. But he becomes a part owner of the team. Apple Plus, I think, isn't that their streaming service? That's what it's called.
hmm
Apple Plus has the MLS. Uh, I can't MLS Pass, whatever, the free pay-per-view stuff. He gets a percentage of that for life, and he gets a percentage from Adidas. They're going to pay him for the rest of his life. Not too shabby.
No,
Plus,
not at all.
plus the really sick thing is he turned down a deal. The Saudis wanted him to come to Saudi Arabia and play. 2 years, $1 billion, 500 million a year, and he turned it down.
That's incredible.
Isn't that sick?
Oh man.
What would you do? He didn't want to play in Saudi Arabia. What would you do if somebody offered you $1 billion to play soccer?
Well, first of all, they must be doing it for a comedy routine because I don't play soccer very well. So if they want to do that for $1 billion, I'm right in.
But if you did play soccer well,
hmm Okay.
would you have taken the deal?
Uh, to be honest, probably. If only 2 years, yeah, I'd very easy.
I would have been wearing a turban real fast. Yeah, for $1 billion to play a game?
hmm
Absolutely. Can you believe it brings up a subject to me? Can you believe what athletes are getting paid in this day and age? You got guys like Ted Williams, Joe DiMaggio, um, Joe Namath, Jim Brown, all these great players. Ted Williams said the most he ever made was, I think, 180 grand his last year.
Wow, that's crazy.
And you're talking about you're talking about players like Michael Jordan, Mario Lemieux that make so much money through athletics and endorsements that they can buy professional teams.
hmm
It's getting
Wow,
ridiculous.
it sure is. And I growing up in the '70s, like we have, if you look at some of the older baseball cards, a lot of these players had off-season jobs like insurance salesman, car salesman. They had to get a second job just to get through the off season.
What's even before our time, but Chuck Bednarik of the Eagles, Hall of Fame linebacker and center, back when they played two ways, worked in a frickin' steel mill in the off season.
Wow.
And then he goes out in the field and beats people up. Ask the late Frank Gifford after that shot he took that ended his career, really.
Mm,
So, I mean, it's just crazy deal.
it
Crazy
is.
deal.
It is.
Now we got to shift gears here and go to basketball. Your Heat
Oh,
have tied it up 1-1 with the Denver Nuggets, and they play tonight. So, got any thoughts on Game 3, Kenny?
well, if the Heat continue to play total team basketball like they have, it's going to be a hard it's going to be hard for the Denver Nuggets just to rely on two players in Murray and the Joker. So playing in Miami in front of those uh, Heat fans in in, humid Miami weather, coming down from the altitude that Denver's coming from. People say that doesn't make a difference, but it sure does. Um, I used to live in Montana. I know how the altitude can change things, um, and the difference. So, putting all that into perspective, and you got Jimmy Buckets and his cast. Um, I think it's looking good for the Heat. It all depends though. The biggest factor is how the outside 3-point shots, either if they're hot like they have been the second game, they got a great chance they're going to win it. But if they shoot like they did the first game, the Nuggets are going to run away. So I guess it all comes down to the 3-point shot.
No Tyler Hero again tonight, though.
No, but you know what? They're actually playing better without him. I didn't think I'd ever say that, but you don't want to bring somebody off the bench and or off the injured list when your team's playing this well. You don't want to throw something into the machine and worry about it getting broken.
Yeah, I mean, the Nuggets, Jokic is definitely the best player in the league, in my
Mhm.
opinion. And Jamal Murray's a good number two, but they need to step. Contavious Caldwell Pope and Aaron Gordon need to step up if they want to win this series, I think.
Right, right. And where's Porter been?
Exactly. Michael Porter Jr., he's like
Mhm.
having a cup of coffee, I guess.
So, but I also like the coaching matchup. You got Spolstra who can get the best out of his team, and what Michael Malone is the coach for the Nuggets,
Yeah,
and he's gotten a lot out of his team this year. But I, with the experience, I still give it to Spolstra.
good point. Now we switch one final. This is college. The Oklahoma softball team is playing for their third national championship in a row, and they're seventh overall. And it's sick what they've done. Last year, they dominated everybody. This year, even though they lost that Jocelyn Allo, I think that's how you say her name, considered maybe the best player ever. She's the all-time home run leader and second all-time in RBIs in softball history, NCAA. Gone, graduated. And what do? They come back. They're 59-1 on the season. 59-1 and have won 51 straight. I mean, college softball with the play you got to go through the play. You got to go through regionals, super
Mhm.
regionals, then the College World Series. This 51 wins is almost like up there with UCLA men's 88 and
Mhm.
Connecticut girls 108 or whatever that was. It's
Right.
just, and they got Florida State tonight. It's just amazing what they are doing there. I mean, and when you think about, I mean, until now, until these last couple of years, when you think of Oklahoma, you didn't think softball.
No, not at all.
You thought football.
Hmm.
And it's just amazing what they're doing.
It is, and they're putting themselves on the map. And I think they've outscored. I think when we talked about this earlier, I think they've outscored their opponent this year something like 453 to 46. It's
Yes,
just incredible.
it's sick.
Mm.
Two pitchers are undefeated. One has one loss, and all of them have ERAs of like one or less.
Mm.
Sick.
It is. It is.
I'm going to write about them in the Sports Scribe tomorrow if they win tonight.
Nice. Now
I have to.
isn't this like the matchup tonight? Isn't that a rematch of 2 years ago? The two met in.
Yes,
Okay, I thought so.
because the last to try to get 3 in a row, they beat Florida State 2 years ago, beat UCLA last year, and now they got Florida State again,
Hmm.
and they're probably going to win.
how big of an upset would that be if Florida State
That
pulled it
would
off?
be maybe the biggest upset in college softball history.
Hmm.
Wouldn't you say?
Oh, I'd definitely say, and maybe somewhat college history because Villanova, Georgetown the one year, and Villanova surprised them. I think it would be bigger than that. Um, maybe the Houston game, NC State Houston. You could consider that one of the best games. I think that would top that one for sure as well.
Yeah, I think, and they would only be the second team to win three in a row. UCLA in the late '80s, early '90s won three in a row, and they had the pitcher, the best name ever in college softball for a pitcher. Her name was Debbie Doom.
Wow.
You're on the mound and your name is Doom. Come on. How can you go against that? One final quick thing that we didn't talk about over Memorial Day, and I thought it was pretty cool. Penn State men's lacrosse made the Final Four.
Mhm.
And I always watch lacrosse on Memorial Day. I love it. But they made the Final Four. They ended up losing in overtime to Duke. But what a big thing for Penn State's program. Not known for lacrosse, and here they are in the Final Four. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was, and I believe there was a couple controversial calls there that might have cost them the game.
Yeah, there was.
So,
There was. And then obviously Notre Dame won their first national championship.
right.
And we don't like that.
Nah.
I hope Kevin Kodish is watching. Notre Dame sucks, Kodish. All right, let's get to high school now. I just wanted to get those things off my chest. We usually don't talk about pro and college, but it's big things going on tonight.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
All right, let's start. You want to start softball or baseball, buddy?
Okay, let it start off with
baseball.
Let's start off with baseball. Yeah.
All right, I'll lead you in. We'll start out in 4A. Bellefonte. Oh my God! You hear that crack in my voice?
Yeah.
Bellefonte. All right, Bellefonte, District 6 champion, went up against Greater Latrobe in the first round, District 7 runner-up, and lost 10-9. No, they won. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They won 10-9, and they will face Indiana, another District 7 school, Thursday at 4:30 at Mount Aloysius College. And what can you tell us about the Red Raider Latrobe game?
Well, you got to give it to Greater Latrobe. They were down at one point, 10-2, and Bellefonte was able to hold on as Greater Latrobe got some runs late in the game to make it a nail biter. But you had the combination of Dom Caparella and Peyton Vankus on the mound, and they were able to get the job done. What a lot of the Red Raider fans are talking about right now is the play of leadoff hitter Trevor Johnson. First pitch he got that he saw in this game, he took it over the wall for a home run. Well, needless to say, the rest of the game he got intentionally walked. So he's hit 11 home runs this season, has a batting average, I believe, above 500. So definitely a good leadoff person to have. So yeah, it was a pretty nerve-wracking game at the end, but for the most part, the game was in control. The Red Raiders move on, and even though they didn't have their best game, they were able to get the outcome they wanted.
It never gets any easier. Indiana, District 7.
Mm-hmm.
It's District 7. That's all you got to say about it.
Right.
But up at Mount Aloysius, we know it's that place called Crescent. It's another world, a new dimension. It'll probably be snowing up there. So, what do you think of their chances against Indiana?
Well, take the Latrobe game for instance. If they played like they did the first three innings and they can continue it throughout, it's gonna be tough for them to get beat. But if they played the way they did in the last 3 innings against Latrobe, might mean an exit to from the state playoffs. So hopefully the team will be well rested and play a full game.
No, the thing that's like you mentioned it right there. The key in all these playoff games is limiting errors, walks, and getting off to a good start.
Hmm.
You don't, I found that in all the games, and I'm sure you have too, that I've covered in playoffs. It's defense, obviously pitching, but and getting off to a good start, not giving up a lot in the beginning because
Right.
everybody's all pumped up in the beginning, and you know they're ready to go and want to hit homers left and right, and
Hmm.
one bad pitch or one defensive thing can set the tone for the whole game.
Oh, most definitely.
Now we go to AAA, which was really good. We'll get to all of our locals got to Mifflin Center County, and we'll bring in Mount Union because they're close to us. But
Yeah.
they all won, which is
Hmm.
good.
Right.
So AAA, we moved down to Phillipsburg, District 6 champion. Another District 17, they got Avonworth and beat them 4-3 in 8 innings. And next up for them, a team with baseball tradition, Punxsutawney. We all know that. They've had some major leaguers.
Hmm.
Punxsutawney, they get them 5:30 on Thursday at Showers Field in DuBois. And that's a nice field. Have you ever been there?
No. Nope.
It's
Haven't.
really cool. It's really cool. Are you going?
Probably not to that game. It
Because
depends on.
there's a double header up there.
Oh.
Bald Eagle starts at. We'll get to Bald Eagle. They
Mhm.
start at 3 baseball and POs at 5:30.
Oh, nice.
But we'll get to that. Talk about the Phillipsburg Avonworth game.
Okay. Well, the Mounties got a walk off. They hosted their first playoff game, state playoff game in quite a while. So the fans were there in droves, and it was good to see that they were backing their players. The game was a close one, 3-3 after the seven, and then they ended up getting a walk off run they needed to advance. They got a strong pitching performance from Gavin Emig and Denny Prestash. They both combined for 9 strikeouts in the contest. So not a lot of scoring, but the Mounties got the result they wanted.
Good. And what do you think? Do you know? I mean, we know Punxsutawney has put. They've actually put big leaguers. They've
Hmm.
actually put players into the majors. What do you think, Phillipsburg? What are their chances against Punxsy?
Well, it's they got to get off to a strong start. It's obvious in their last couple playoff games they've got a good defense to back everything up. They just got to get the momentum early, and take the momentum and keep it.
If they win, you got to make some kind of lead in your story. The Mounties made the Chucks go back into their hole, and they won't come out until winter time. Something like that. Next up, we move to uh, Double A, the Bald Eagle area Eagles, 18 and now 19-4 on the year, having a great season in baseball. They took on District 5 champion McConnellsburg and handled them pretty good, 10-4,
Hmm.
to move into the quarterfinals. And they take on Carnes City Thursday at 3 o'clock at Showers Field in DuBois. They will lead that off on the double header there between locals, and talk about Bald Eagle area. And it seemed like with the score, just looking at the score, Bald Eagle had a pretty easy time with McConnellsburg.
Yeah, actually, they did. They at one point had an 8-0 lead on McConnellsburg in a game that was pretty good for Tate and Yoder. He was clutch at the plate. He drove in 5 runs on 3 hits.
Not a
So
bad day.
not a bad day. um, he hit a double and a home run. So they had the offense going off in an early. Justin Beisel, Parker Quick also came up big with some clutch RBIs in a game that was never out of hand for Bald Eagle. Wyatt Coakley got the win. Went 6 1/3, allowing 4 runs on 5 hits, striking out 3. And then Weston McLean threw 2/3 of an inning in relief. So pretty businessman-like win for Bald Eagle.
And they take on Carnes City Thursday, 3:00 at Showers Field. Like I said, I got to be honest. I don't know anything about Carnes City.
I was
Nothing.
just thinking the same thing, but I was hoping you weren't asking me about how you think they do against them because I don't have a clue.
I think they're District 9, right?
Mm.
9 or 10. I don't even know what district they're in. If anybody knows, drop a line in the chat in the comments. I don't remember. I don't know. I think it's 9. All right, okay. Next up. Oh, what do you think about? You don't know anything about them, but Bald Eagle. They keep playing like they're doing. They could be in the semifinals, buddy.
Yeah, well, this is just where you, as a coach, you want your team to be. They're starting to really peak at the right time. They've gotten better with each game, and like when you get this far in, that's what you want to see out of your team. So if they continue to play like they have been, might be seeing them in the state finals.
Nice. You know, it's been a good season, and the team they beat in District 6 finals, Mount Union, moves to 22-2 on the year. They handled Wyalusing 7-3, and they get Calvary Christian Thursday at 2:30 at Fredericksburg, whatever the heck that is. And Mount Union needs no introduction. You're talking about 6 state championships, 5 of them under the great Nick Imperoli. You know, I'm sure if you know anything, I know you don't cover them, but I'm sure it was, you know, they always every year have like one pitcher that's really outstanding, and sometimes 2, and they could always hit. That's the MO of the Trojans.
Right. And they got that swag too. They got that, you know, that confidence every year that this is their time of the year.
And I think it would be pretty cool if it would be a Bald Eagle area Mount Union final.
Wouldn't that be appropriate after how they've played each other earlier?
Yes. I'll tell you. Thank you, Ed. Ed Stewart always likes us. So, Kenny, I think you should send that money you promised him.
It's in the mail.
Thank you, Ed.
Nice. Thanks.
So that wraps it up. Give me your overall thoughts on the baseball right now. It's pretty cool that all 4 of the coverage area teams are still alive going into the quarterfinals.
It's great. It's great for this region. I can't remember a time when we've had this many in the state playoffs win like they have. I don't know. Can you remember a time when it's usually been like 1 or 2 teams, but got quite a bit this year?
Yeah, I remember. Geez, my brain is going so bad because you know, you do this for as long as we have, Kenny. You start forgetting names. But I remember one year, it was in the 90s, that we had Indian Valley and Lewistown, I think, got into the quarters or semis. Mount Union was there. And I wasn't following the Center County teams then because there was no such thing as hometown sports.
Right.
So, but yeah, I mean, it doesn't happen much, but it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Bellefonte, PO, Bald Eagle, Mount Union still alive in baseball. Now we go to softball. We start out 6A. Unfortunately for the Huskies, Mifflin County fell to District 7 champion Hempfield 5-0. And that was played down at Greensburg, where Hempfield's located, just outside of Pittsburgh. I covered that game, and it was basically they picked a bad time, Mifflin County did, to have their bats go cold. I mean, this Riley Miller, the pitcher for Hempfield, was not overpowering. She only had like 2 or 3 strikeouts in the game. But oh no, wait, she had 8 strikeouts. What am I saying? That was Maddie that didn't only had 2. But she had 8 strikeouts, 3 walks. But those strikeouts were just like location pitches. You know what I mean? She didn't have speed. I mean, she wasn't this overpowering pitcher like Gager is. But she was really good at locating her ball, you know?
Right.
And Mifflin County just couldn't figure it out. They only had, in the 5th inning, the top of the 5th was the only time they got a runner past second base.
Wow.
In the game. And I mean, I still think, you know, they had 10 hits, but Madison Wolfgang pitched okay. The defense was there, only 1 error. That was in the 1st inning. It's just 3 hits. They could not, and 2 of them were from Sophie McCurdy. They just couldn't find a way to get the ball in there. And they were hitting it hard. It was just one of those situations where they were hitting it right to the fielder, you know?
Right.
What were your thoughts on the game? I'm sure you got a look at it.
Yeah, it was, you know, I kind of look at it as, you know, it was a great season by the girls. And some nights the baseball gods don't shine brightly on you. And that was something with all those atom balls to the different players, to, you know, the different players that hit it. And, you know, some days you get the lucky break and some days you don't. And, you know, that wasn't their night, but that doesn't really take away from anything they've accomplished. It's just, you know, one game and you're out, and, you know, it's nothing really to hang your head about, but, you know, it's tough though.
No, and his coach Craig Weston told me, and he's been on the show a couple of times, Craig really took it in stride. He said, yeah, we're disappointed, but it's not a bad season because it's the 3rd year in a row they won the District 6 championship. It's the 3rd year in a row they beat McDowell for the play-in game, and it's their 3rd straight time of being in the PIAA playoffs. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's kind of like the building of the, you know, it's all Mifflin County has a legacy already for softball, but they're just adding the foundation, more to the foundation, you know, hiring the expectations each year, and they're going along, you know, at a good pace.
Now that they're losing 6 starters, but they still have a lot coming back. But you know, and Madison's gone, but I think they got the Reiner girl and Piper Speck,
right?
Which is Eric Speck and Sheila Speck's daughter. We know them real well. Eric's a good guy, likes wrestling too, so he's extra special. And Sheila, you know, Sheila in high school, Sheila Stallone.
Oh yeah,
what an athlete she was at Lewistown.
She was.
So it's in the bloodlines there, and Reinard, you know, the late Barry Reinard, good guy. Barry, that's his granddaughter, Phelan. So if those two can come around on the mound, they have enough coming back where they should be able to get back there.
Right, and they showed that some of the younger players this year stood up and made some real clutch plays for him. Fallon was one of them, and Jaylee Bodorf. They're going to be okay. They're going to bring some senior or some leadership back to the program next year, and just like every year, they're going to be in the run for it.
I agree. And let's switch now to 4A. District 6 champ Bellefonte faced District 7 runner-up Montour, and unfortunately, their season came to an end too. They were eliminated. They lost 5-2 to Montour. Tell me
Mm.
about that game, Mr. Varner.
Well, this was a lot like the Mifflin County game. The Raiders could not get the hits that they needed. They hit the ball hard, but they just couldn't seem to get everything put together. And Montour started out with a building up a 5-0 lead. So when you're behind like that and you're not hitting or you're not getting the runs that you need, it's hard to make that comeback. And hats off to Belfont for their season, because at one point early on in the season, there was question whether or not they were going to make a playoff run. And then here they are, District 6 champions. And, you know, I think good things are going to be going for them too as well next year.
Well, they've had. I mean, you don't have to say anything if you're into high school sports at all around here. You know, Center County and their tradition with softball.
Hmm.
Bald Eagles won state titles. Phillipsburg state title. Penns Valley state title. I believe Bellefonte did too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I believe in, oh gosh, 2016, I
So I
believe.
mean, it's and Penns Valley. It's in the genes up there in Center County
Hmm. Hmm.
for a softball, except
Oh,
State
yeah.
College, State College. Mifflin County pretty much since they become Mifflin County has had the State College's number most of the time in the
Hmm.
playoffs.
Yes. I totally agree.
So now we move to AAA, and probably well, we'll get to who they're going to play. That's probably the most exciting game I'm waiting for coming up in the quarterfinals. But first things first, a wild game with, if you like pitching and defense, this was the game. The
Hmm.
Indians beat District 7 third place finisher Burrell 1-0. And Liz Gazer had another terrible day. 18 strikeouts, 18 strikeouts, and only one hit. One
Wow.
hit,
Hmm.
18 strikeouts. What more can you say about her?
No, she, like I put in my story, she's really building her legend. You can just see the legend being built up as she every game she plays. She seems to, I don't know how she does it, but she seems to get better every time out. More and more confident, which is kind of scary with one more year to go, and still got some playoffs here to go yet. She's got to have cleared 800 by now. Maybe on halfway up to 900 strikeouts for her career.
Jeez.
It's just
My,
unbelievable.
my
But
God.
yeah, it's first of all, congratulations to the Juniata Indians for their first ever District 6 championship. You remember back when we had Erin on, and
Yeah.
uh, and she said she would love to get a banner for that gym. Well, they definitely did that. There'll be probably a new banner when the new school year starts. So congratulations to the Lady Indians for capturing that, and for that impressive 1-0 win. I guess it wasn't decided until there was a freaky play on the last play of the game, that there was a hit out to center field. And um, to explain it is kind of difficult, because you just have to see it to believe it. I know it's on Facebook, so if any of you fans out there want to see it, take a look at it, and just see how crazy it really was, because I can't explain it. It's too difficult. But yeah, they sealed the deal on that play. So.
And they got to be feeling so confident when you can go out and knowing that you got somebody like that in the circle. I mean,
Hmm. Yep.
that people are not going to score many runs on her. We know about the strikeouts and hits, but I wonder what her ERA is. It might be
Oh.
minuscule. You
Hmm.
know,
Right.
I mean, geez, how many shutouts has she pitched this year? We'll have to go and look. But
Yeah.
go ahead.
I was gonna say she's had numerous perfect games, and numerous no hitters, one hitters, you name it.
I'm
she's probably done it.
I'm still going to try to get her on the show after the season. I
Hmm.
understand that they need to concentrate on the season, but
Right.
I would love to have her come on and just talk to her about how she approaches the game and things like that.
Hmm.
Now, here's the exciting game. Well, they're all exciting, but they play Thursday, 4 o'clock at St. Francis, and they take on Avonworth, the defending PIAA, AAA champions. So
Wow.
tough quarterfinal, District 7 champ, and the
Hmm.
returning state champions. That's what Gazer and the Indians go up against in the quarterfinals. What do you think of that game?
Oh boy, that's going to be an instant classic, I'm sure. I'm sure it'll be much like the other games. It'll be one run here, one run there that'll decide it. Toss up, but I always like the underdogs in these competitions, and maybe a hint of overconfidence by Avonworth will spell their doom because these Indians are ready to go and ready to ink another win.
The only thing that I would be concerned about, and I mean, like I said, I know they're not. I mean, like I said, um, they got to be pretty confident with her on the mound. But
Hmm.
you got a returning state champion, so they have that experience
Hmm.
that Mifflin County, I mean, excuse me, I'm sorry, Juniata just doesn't have.
True, true.
That's the only thing I think. I
Yeah.
agree with you. I agree with you. This is one of those games where either team could win, but
Hmm.
it's I think it's more in line. The only advantage that they really have is that they've been here.
Hmm.
They've done it. They know what it takes. Wouldn't you
Right.
agree with that a little bit?
Oh, definitely. There's got to be a little nerves in the Juniata dugout when this game starts, I'm sure.
Yeah, there has to be. I'm sure it's for
Hmm.
on them too,
Hmm.
but they still will probably be a little bit more relaxed to get
Right.
get things going. You'd think, but you never
Right.
know.
Mhm.
You never know. It's going to be a fun game. You've
Oh yeah.
got a really big decision on what you're covering Thursday.
I know, and there's still a lot more that we haven't covered yet that it's still going on Thursday too.
Right. Let's go to Double A. Great spring season for the they have this from time to time where they get really good class of athletes.
Hmm.
And you saw it this year with football, with wrestling, and now baseball and softball because the softball team, obviously, we know how good they are. They're the
Hmm.
District 6 champs. They moved to 21-2 with a 1-0 win over Muncie out of District 4. And Muncie came in with only one loss on the year. And Bald Eagle beat them 1-0. And you've told me before about Bald Eagle area's pitcher.
Oh yeah, Sierra Albright. Um, Going to this, covering this game, the weirdest part about this is Muncie had the bases loaded and had a chance of having a really big first inning, but Albright, I believe, struck out the final batter in the first to keep the score as still 0-0, and then in the first Bald Eagle manufactured a run, and that would be the only run the rest of the way. Sierra Albright just had her stuff working, and a lot of good defensive play too. People forget, despite just having the good pitcher there in Albright, they also have a good defense behind her, and especially with their catcher, which her name eludes me right now, um, but yeah, this was one of those games that they manufactured a run early and they just held on for dear life the rest of the way. I don't think after the first that Muncie had another runner make it to third base. The furthest they went was second. So that just shows you how tough the defense was that day.
My God. Oh, my God. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Mm.
Michael Gazer Liz's dad posted her ERA. It's not even 1.
Wow.
If you post that up with the 7, it's .72.
Jeez.
My God.
Wow. Love
0.72.
it. Hmm.
Wow.
Hmm.
That is crazy good. Crazy. I'm sorry. I didn't mean
Hmm.
to
No,
interrupt you with
no.
the bald eagle
Wow.
area stuff. But yeah, I mean, and they take on, I still can't get over that ERA. My God.
Wow.
Minersville, Thursday at 4 o'clock at Central Columbia High School. Minersville, I believe, is District 4, just like Muncie was. So um, I know they've had a tradition. Minersville's actually won a state championship in softball.
Hmm.
So going to be a good one with them in the Eagles, as we say
Hmm.
in Pennsylvania. What
Yeah,
do
it
you
should
think?
be. I think so too. I believe that for the Eagles to have success, they've got to get that offense going. They were uncharacteristically a little. Um, I want to say the Muncie pitcher Nola Moyer, unbelievable left-hander. She
Oh, lefty.
Yeah. So she did a dominant job on the Eagles, and the Eagles need to get the offense back and churning like it has in the games before. They've got to get their offense going, but if they can do that, they're on to the next round.
Yeah, that would be. I can cut Bald Eagle some slack there, because most of the time, softball, you're seeing righties. That would
Hmm.
be kind of hard to try to pick up a lefty pitcher when you're
Right.
not used to seeing them.
Yeah, and you can't prepare either. Like Coach Don Lucas said, you can't prepare for it. You can do your best. You can put the machine, give them the machines, but until you actually see them and go up against them, it's you know you can't really replicate it.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Our final softball team. Unfortunately, District 6 runner up Penns Valley saw their season come to an end. They lost to District 7 champ Neshannock 9-0, and Neshannock is now 21-0 on the year.
Mm-hmm.
So you're undefeated in District 7. You got a monster club.
Hmm. Most definitely.
So
Um,
talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, just hats off to the Penns Valley softball team this year, where they were able to get into the District 6 championship. They fell to Bald Eagle, which is no shame. And then they still qualified for their game against Neshannock. Is that how you say that?
Yeah.
Neshannock? Um,
If it's not, it's Neshannock for us.
okay. Okay.
But I think
um,
that is. I think that's right.
um, they've had a great season, and to finish District 6 runner-ups is no small feat, especially in a in a
Yeah, and there are ones that are like Bald Eagle this year. For being a small school, Penns Valley, it started out they had a great cross country season. Then
mhm.
it goes in and they had a great wrestling season, and also they had football that made the district finals, and now here with softball. So nice year in sports for the Rams.
Most definitely.
And that's going to wrap it up for softball. So I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
Well, first of all, give me your roundup of what you thought of all the softball this past week for our locals.
Oh, I'm very, very impressed with the talent. All Juniata, Mifflin, Center, Huntington. I mean, I know you say that Pennsylvania is the hotbed for wrestling. I'd also like to say that Pennsylvania is the hotbed for softball as well, especially Central Pennsylvania. I mean, this sport has been well, like you said, there's so many titles in this area, and it continues to improve each and every year, and just seeing all the talent out there, it's very promising too for the future.
And I think it's because of the feeder systems that all these teams have,
Hmm.
including Mifflin County. I mean, starting at Little League softball all the way up.
Right.
These kids are learning and they're playing so much that
Hmm.
by the time they get to high school, they've already played so many games, and you know, and there's
Well.
like off-season camps and
Hmm.
pitching clinics and all that stuff. You know,
Travel teams, yeah, all that. I actually was able to cover some Mifflin County Little League softball championships this week, and I believe that one of the officials told me that the feeder system's blowing up with teams. So that's definitely great to see. They started a coach pitch 7 and 8 year old league to get the kids started a little early. So it's building that strong foundation you need, and with the success of Mifflin County, and even Juniata County, that's getting the girls out there and wanting to follow their role models. So what they
do you,
say is, you know,
well,
it's
you said
just awesome.
you said it right there. Can you imagine the impact Liz Gager is having on Juniata softball?
Hmm.
What these young girls see in her and this team do?
Hmm.
Do you know how many are probably going to go out? And if they don't, I'll be shocked for
Me too.
softball.
Hmm.
I mean, because they'll like see her and go, I want to be like her.
Hmm.
And
Yeah, it's good.
some will even have that mentality. I'm going to be better than her.
Hmm.
And
Which is
I,
always great to have.
yeah, and I think Erin Cressman, wow, she's gonna if she stays around long enough is gonna reap the benefits of this because
Hmm.
I think it's just gonna do wonders for Juniata softball, and to stay a power. They're a power now, but I mean
Right.
to stay a power, and they got good coaching with Jack McCurdy. Jack coached State College to
Hmm.
district titles. He coached Mifflin County to district titles. And for some reason, he keeps dragging Craig Bubb with him. No, I always get on Craig, but I love him to death. Great coach as well. So they got the coaching.
Hmm.
They got this ace stud pitcher that that. I mean, they come
Hmm.
around. They don't come around often this good.
No, no. In fact, she's been the first. I've seen a lot of good pitchers, but I've never seen a real phenom like I have Liz. This is just unheard of what she's doing.
Oh my God. More stats. Michael, thank you. Look at this. Besides the ERA, she has 830 strikeouts. Dude,
Wow.
830 378 strikeouts this year.
Wow.
Well, Liz and I have something in common.
What's that?
In Little League, I struck out 378 times. No, that's amazing.
It
That's
is.
amazing. 830 Ks. I mean, I don't know how we could find out, but I mean, I wonder. I'm sure there has been, but I wonder how many pitchers, because she's got another year. How many
Mhm.
pitchers have gotten 1,000 strikeouts in a career?
I don't know because I
It
think
can't be many. It cannot be many.
no, I think the is just the top one is just, I think, over 1,000. Maybe I think it was like 1,053. Now I may be wrong, but that's the most I believe that anyone's ever gotten, and she's on pace to just blow that out of the water.
That is crazy, man. Crazy.
And you want to know
Eight.
something else? We've never once really talked about how good of a hitter she is offensively.
Oh, she is.
Oh my gosh, she's very clutch. She's used to the pressure on the mound, and she does just as well at the in the batter's box. So she's been one of their better hitters. So
Just
trust
has
me.
it. One of those all around just great athletes.
Yeah, I have the stitch marks to say how hard she hits the ball.
Oh, she hit you.
She hit me with a foul ball here a couple weeks back, and luckily it hit me in my stomach, so it didn't really hurt too much. But yeah, it knocked the wind out of me for a little bit.
Sorry to laugh, Kenny.
No, that's funny because we were just talking about her. I think the day before, and we were talking about hitting her. You know, if I could hit her or if you could hit her, and that happens, and I'm like, nope, you can't hit her. There's no way.
No, if I tried, I'd be strikeout 379 for her.
Oh yeah, such a great athlete and such a good kid too. Um, very inspiring to her teammates and always smiling. That whole group is having fun, and you got to love a team like that.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I mean, if they weren't, they wouldn't have gotten this far.
Right.
So I'm going to put you on the spot. Every game obviously is Thursday. What
Right.
are you covering, Kenny?
Gosh,
What are you going to cover, Kenny?
I have not a clue right now. That's the strategic. It has to do a lot with my day job. What really sucks is having these early games at such far away places.
Quit
So,
your job, Kenny. Quit it.
and the bad thing is I can't call off sick because if they see my name the next day in a game I cover, you know, I'm busted. So
I got to ask you this. Do you know, maybe Michael, if he's still on, knows, does Juniata stream their games on Game Changer?
oh
Kenny,
boy,
do you
I
know?
am not. I know they did. I think they did during the regular season. Now with the postseason, it costs $200 a game
Oh my God,
to
never mind.
to stream it. So, um, oh, I don't know if it's going to be streamed or not.
Do you know how far behind I am
How's that?
in this? I did not know that game. I knew Game Changer with the stats and all that stuff, but I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know you could stream games on there.
Mm-hmm.
So I missed the entire seasons
Oh.
of like Mifflin County, Juniata. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
until I did not know until 2 weeks ago that they streamed.
Oh wow.
I know, stupid me.
Well, no, it's something I found out by accident. So
He said yes, but no video on Game Changer Manager. Okay.
okay.
I want to try to follow that, see that game. That's going to be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Avonworth and them for returning state champs against Juniata. Going to be pretty cool.
It is. It is. It's
Yeah, I
kind of.
didn't think about that. I didn't think about that. Michael said maybe Avonworth has
Mm,
has video. I'll check it out and see.
yeah.
Because I didn't know. I subscribed last week. Pretty late in the season to subscribe, but now I know better. But so 7.72 ERA, 830 strikeouts.
I'd like to know what the record is for ERA. You know, that's got to be
Either
right
way,
around it.
both are sick. I mean, that is
Yeah.
sick stuff.
It's something we probably will never see again in our lifetimes, anyway.
And she's going to Fordham.
Mm-hmm.
Good school. I'm going to negotiate Aaron's new contract. I'm going to. I think it's in the AD. Queasy.
Yeah.
Queasy. I'm going to negotiate. So get ready, Queasy. Cressman wants a new deal.
Is it going to be like the Messi deal?
Yeah, I hope so. I'm going to take a cut. So, you don't know yet who you're going to cover. I put you on the spot. I know.
Yeah. No, I I'm not sure yet. It might even come down to a flip of a coin. I hate to say it because there's so many going on, and to keep up with them all has been fun. It's been interesting, but tiring at the same time. And
Yeah,
I
you can
feel,
only do so much. You're one guy, man.
yeah, but
I wished I could get to him. I really do.
yeah,
I'd be going. I want to go to the Juniata Avonworth game.
mm,
You know,
mm-hmm,
that would be my selection. But I don't have a choice in that.
yeah.
So, do you got any shout outs?
Yeah. I
Wait a minute.
gotta have the
You know
song.
what we do.
Yes.
Feeding the Ducks. Kenny Barner and his shout outs for this Wednesday. All right, Kenny V.
All right. Okay, the first shout out is to the Reedsville Little League minor team as they defeated Stroh's Mills on Saturday, 19-8. It was a closer game than what the score says. It was quite a fun game to see the future of Mifflin County get out there and show their talents. So shout out, well, actually to both teams for first of all for making the finals, and Reedsville for winning. So that's my first shout out. Second shout out is to Stroh's Mills Major League, a little league softball team, as they beat Burnham yesterday, 9-5. And within that shout out, I'd like to take a shout out to Grace Napakowski, Stroh's Mills pitcher. She struck out 10 and went the distance in the championship game. So great job. It was a good team effort. Also, it was fun. It was a very quick game too. The talent on both sides kept the game moving pretty good. So congratulations to Grace as well. Um, and then my last one is congratulations to slugger Jackson Imes, age 12, plays for Juniata County Youth Baseball, Mifflin County Majors team. Not only did he hit his first over the fence home run this season, but he has hit a total of 5 home runs so far. He blasted his 5th one yesterday, and it was a grand slam during the team's first playoff game against East Juniata Majors. So congratulations, Jackson. Keep it going. And it's a short list today, but those are my shout outs.
I would like to give one shout out. I know you did it last week, but I'm going to do it this week too. I want to give a congratulations to all the graduates.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to a new phase in your life. Good luck in whatever you do. And congratulations for your 4 years. You survived it.
And if you want some good advice, read his story on your. I loved your story about the suggestions and kind of little directions you put on the scribe.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. That's the Pros Project. prosproject.substack.com. It's my non-sports writing, and I appreciate that. So that's our shout outs. We got to end with Feeding the Ducks, the Kenny Varner theme song.
I almost feel like I got to have a Barry White voice or something when I
You got to. You got to. You're going to start, you don't believe me, you're going to start playing this to your wife. And then do that Barry White voice.
Hey, this is Barry White.
Hey, baby. Hey, I love you, baby.
Oh, before we go, I got a quick good luck. A group of the Mifflin County, Juniata County swimmers are heading to Up Here State College to compete in the state games. So good luck to the crew. I hope to bring you some updates on how they did next week.
Awesome. I'm going to do some plugs before we go. You can find Kenny at Hometown Sports Scene, obviously, at hometownsportscene.com and on Facebook And what's that Facebook URL? I don't have that. Do you remember? You're on your well. Just look at
Oh,
Facebook, Hometown
yeah,
Sports. I think it's just Hometown Sports on Facebook, right?
right. Hometown Sports Mifflin, Hometown Sports Center. Whichever county you're from, we got something.
All right. And then you can also find both of us once in a while, him more than me, on our Central PA Sports page at facebook.com, Central PA Sports. And I can be found with sports stuff at the sportscribe.substack.com. Like I said, tomorrow, if Oklahoma wins, I don't usually write about college baseball, but I'm softball, but I'm going to write about Oklahoma if they win. And thank you, Michael, for the like.
Yes.
I'm still not going to give up on after the season getting Liz on. Love to talk to her. And
Oh,
then
definitely.
if any of you have any ideas, anybody you think we should get on, we are open to suggestions. Just email the pressbox9921 at gmail.com. That's the pressbox9921 at gmail.com. Let me know who you think should be on, or just send us something on the Central PA Sports Facebook page. Just make a post of your own telling us who you think should come on, because we're open to that, aren't we, Kenny?
Oh, most definitely. Glad to hear different stories from across the local sports spectrum. Definitely.
All right, and before we get out of here, your Heat tonight with Nuggets, what's going to happen?
I know one thing I'm not going to watch until the fourth quarter, but I think the Heat will do it. I think they'll go up 2-1, and make the next game in Miami a 3-1 deficit going back to Denver.
Nice. Okay. I think it all depends. I mean, Jokic will do his stuff. Nobody can stop him.
No.
But it'll if Murray will be there too, I think. But if Pope or Gordon or Porter decide to step up, it could be trouble for Miami. Because Miami's got home court tonight, but and they can win. They got the experience and all that. Miami was what, 2 or 3 years ago in the finals?
Yeah, they played the Lakers in the bubble.
Yeah, and they've been there. Denver hasn't, so that's an advantage for Miami. But I really honestly believe, no offense, Kenny, that Denver's the better team.
Oh, yeah, I don't deny that.
But anything can happen.
Right. I'm just riding. I'm in for the ride right now. They got further than what I expected. So this is all gravy for me. I'm just sitting back and enjoying and loving it.
Because look at what can happen. Even though they're losing, the Florida Panthers are the first 8th seed in hockey history to make the Stanley Cup Finals. So anything can happen. The Florida Panthers were definitely not the best team in the East this year.
That's true. And even Miami soccer team got messy. So anything's possible in this crazy
Wow,
world.
yeah, Florida's having a good time. The Tampa Bay Rays are just amazing right now. You got the Heat in the finals, and now Miami gets messy. Jeez.
Nice.
Now I heard the Dolphins may get Dalvin Cook from the Vikings.
Oh, wow. How good would that? Oh.
Like they don't have enough. Like they don't have enough explosive offense with Waddle and Tyreek Hill. The only problem with them is can Tua stay upright for a whole season?
Exactly. Yeah.
But we're not even near football yet, so
I'm getting closer, though.
I just went off on a tangent. So sorry.
Oh no.
All right, that's going to do it for this week. We will be back next Wednesday on the Press Box. This has been episode 37. You believe that, Kenny?
Wow.
37 down.
Crazy. We're getting closer to that year mark.
And we want to thank everybody for listening. We keep growing, and that's all because of you. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to us. We really do appreciate it.
Yes,
thank you.
Thanks.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for tonight. For Kenny Varner, I'm Brian Carson. Thanks for listening to the Press Box, and we'll be back next week. Have a good rest of your week and an even better weekend. See you soon. Have a good one. Good night.
Good night, everybody.